Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is September the 30th, 2019, and we are continuing our study on the first trumpet of the Revelation. And in the previous video, in part 1, we were able to find a definition for hail and fire, which is the judgment of Yahweh, a judgment of Yahweh, mingled with blood, which is the sacrifice of Christ, and they were cast upon the earth, the church. We also found a definition for burnt up, which means that they are going through the refining fires, usually illustrated by tribulation of some sort of distress or tribulation. Okay, and in this video, we're going to take a look at trees and grass. And trees, now I have said before that trees was just flesh, just regular people. That's not the best definition for trees. Trees are leaders, and specifically, if you want to be more specific, you can say that they have been blessed by Yahweh. Because the reason why they are trees is because they're blessed, is because they're leaders of the people. And grass is that's the regular people, the poor people, just the regular masses that have very little power. Let's go ahead and look at the definitions. And I do want you to pay attention to what I was saying about trees being leaders, because you can tell that these are blessed people. And you kind of understand that in real life. No, never mind, we won't go into that. I've already explained that in a previous video, how it's up higher than the grass. So we'll continue. Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Let the field be joyful, and let all that is therein, and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. For he shall be... Okay, we read that already. And all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree, have exalted the low tree, have dried up the green tree, and have made the dry tree to flourish. I, the Lord, have spoken and have done it. So that shows you that Yahweh is, well, we already know Yahweh's in control, but I thought that was a good example nonetheless. The waters made him great, the deep set him up on high, with rivers running round about his plant. We're going to read a couple of verses here, because this is a great tree here. The water made him great, the deep set him up on high, with her rivers running round about his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long, because of the multitude of waters, when he shot forth. All the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations. Thus was he fair in his greatness, in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. We'll read one more. The cedars in the garden of God could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty. And that was not supposed to be a good tree, by the way. Nebuchadnezzar, who started off as good, then was not good, and then it's good again. So Daniel 9:4-20, the tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, whose height reached into the heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all, under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and upon whose branches the fowls of the heaven had their habitation. It is thou, O King, Thou art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reaches unto heaven, and thy dominion unto the end of the earth. Okay, I think that's about all. We'll continue on with what we have here. Okay, we'll just jump down to grass. Let's see what we have here. Oh, that was the end. And the herb brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. I just like that as an example personally. I just like that one. Okay, I'm still in the trees. Let me get to the grass. Give me just a moment. Okay. I've got a separate here. I thought they were in the same one. Alrighty. Therefore the inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower in the field, so he flourishes. For the wind passeth over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. Okay, where's the one? There's one that's very specific. Here it is. The voice said, Cry. And he said, What shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. That's the same thing. That's pretty much the same thing. That's okay. We've got plenty. Okay, well, that's all of them. So we have a definition for tree as being a blessed and a great people, good or bad, but it usually gives a description. It usually will tell you if it's you go by the description to know if they're good or bad. And then you have the grass. Let's go ahead. We still have some time on this video. Let's go ahead and look up green. Green is a symbol of righteousness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaves shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. And say unto the forests of the south. Okay, this is two parts. What's going on here is Ezekiel is giving the people a prophecy. And if you read all the way down to the end, he gives them the prophecy, and then he says, "Ah, Lord God," they say to me, "doth he not speak parables?" And so in the next chapter, the Lord interprets the prophecy for him. So we're going to take a look at this, and then we're going to go into chapter 21, and we're going to take a look at the interpretation, and we're going to compare the two. Okay. And say to the forest of the south, and say to the land of Israel, Hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord God. Behold, I will kindle a fire in thee, and it shall devour every green tree in thee, and every dry tree. Behold, I am against thee, and I will draw forth my sword out of his sheath, And I will cut down from the righteous, the green tree, and the wicked, the dry tree. Okay? So green is the righteous. Okay, so let's go back and see what we have, and we'll do a quick review. So now let's see if we can put it together. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. The first angel sounded, and there followed judgment from God mixed with the sacrifice of Christ. And they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of great men were refined in the fiery furnace. And all righteous grass was refined in the fiery furnace. Now, the results of the refining we know. The results of the refining power makes us, it cleanses us. It cleanses us from any flaws in our character. We can see this when we go to the next chapter. We can see that these are the sealed of God, and we're going to get to that in as we proceed in the study. We're going to go to our type and our illustration in Ezekiel 9, and we're going to take a look at that. But first we have to do the third part. So, but we can see that these are the sealed of Yahweh when we compare it. Let's read. And it was Revelation 9:4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their forehead. Now, it's worded a little bit differently. You can tell it's the same thing, but it is worded a little bit differently. And the reason for that is the commandment is going out to the locusts. And the locust, a moment. Okay, the commandment here is going out to locusts, and locusts automatically are going to seek out the green things to eat. That's why it's worded like this, because the audience are locusts. And it is commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, which they're going to automatically seek to eat, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. So, and we just gave the definition for green as the righteous. Okay. So we are going to stop here, and we're going to come back, and we're going to look up the third part first. I may have to do 2 parts for the third part. We'll see. And then we will go on to our type and illustration of what's going on here under the first trumpet. All right. That's it for now. Yahweh bless.